there's a lot of things that could be on that list today. You've touched on a wide variety of topics that we're going to cover likely in this conversation. A lot of different trends that are happening today as it relates to cybersecurity that kind of spiders out and really kind of has dotted lines to this topic. To start with, I could say that from a cybersecurity perspective, a lot of what's going on in the industry, especially around mid-market, is that breaches or attacks are getting much more sophisticated in nature. One of the first things that I'll mention is that what we're seeing a lot of in the industry is a lot of advanced attacks, persistent attacks. These are threats that are lingering in environments for a long period of time. They sit in the environment. They remain undetected for days, weeks, months, and in some cases even nearly a year or more. And they kind of slowly kind of fester and infiltrate and look at what's going on within the environment to see what they can see within the environment, what type of sensitive data may or may not exist, and then slowly but surely start to, exfiltrate data and, do what it is they intended to do, the bad act that they intended to do. And a lot of times, in the mid-market, sometimes those organizations just kind of lack, the tools to look at and monitor those attack surfaces. They don't have the ability to monitor. If they have the tools, they don't have the ability, the staff or the resources to monitor those tools. So that's an area where we're seeing a lot of growth in the mid-market in terms of those bad actors taking advantage of that. Another area is supply chain infiltration. So if you think about, you as a mid-market organization, think about all the suppliers that are providing you with information, and the integration and the data that's flowing between you as an organization and your supply chain partners. What does that integration look like? How secure are those integration points? Continuing down the list, and then get into kind of traditional things like credential harvesting. So now you're looking at phishing campaigns, social engineering. These are kind of traditional attack surfaces that we're used to hearing. Emails coming into your inbox, trying to look for and obtain credentials. And these are things that, hopefully are being mitigated by cybersecurity awareness training, things like that. And then it goes on. Insider threats, whether it's on purpose or by accident, the human firewall is important, making sure that staff are trained. And again, mid-market organizations have the resources to keep their staff trained and up to speed on what's going on in the industry, what to look out for, what to make sure that they're following proper cyber hygiene, things like that. Then it's just IT governance, right? In terms of cyber, as it relates to cybersecurity, but also just from an IT governance standpoint, making sure that they're aligning their governance and their IT spend along with cybersecurity spend, making sure they're getting the right return on those investments, they're spending the dollars in the right areas, and they're employing the tools that we've talked about early on here, looking to see if they can mitigate some of these advanced threats, make sure that they have the ability to sustain the budget, sustain the resources and the bandwidth, and so on and so forth. Making sure that they're keeping aligned with the talent, making sure that their IT resources have the skill set to understand what's going on and keeping pace with the tools and what's going on in the industry, and maintaining certifications and understand that type of thing. So there's a whole wide variety of things that the mid-market needs to kind of stay ahead of. And some of it's kind of new that we're seeing in the industry, but some of it's table stakes. And then the list continues. Making sure we're not relying on some legacy systems. Oftentimes we see that in the mid-market. Organizations don't have the budget to sustain infrastructure. It's kind of that old adage where they're relying on older systems because they don't have an IT budget that allows them to keep pace with keeping up with current IT environments, and making sure they're patching and upgrading hardware and maintaining that. So they start to fall behind, and that now becomes an area of risk. And the last thing I'll mention is that's important across any organization, whether big or small, is that cybersecurity is not just an IT issue. It really is something that affects the entire organization. And that's a mindset change within an organization. They need to really be cognizant of that. And it starts with the leadership and it goes down all the way down to the individual employee. So those are things that, organizations need to keep in mind as they start to think about, risk and staying ahead of the curve as it relates to IT and cybersecurity.